Do we have too much government?
We need to put people ahead of corporate profits.
This system is so lopsided. This threat is a real threat to democracy.
And I think that's really important. That's something we haven't been doing in this country for a long time.
Where do you start? What do you do? How do you do it?
Access to Democracy is sponsored by Thomson Reuters, providing legal professionals with the intelligence, technology, and human expertise they need to find trusted answers. Products include Westlaw, Practical Law, and Firm Central legal practice management software for small law firms. Thomson Reuters, the answer company. Online at thomsonreuters.com. Access to Democracy is made possible in part by a donation from Firefly Credit Union. Firefly is the new name of U.S. Federal Credit Union, which has proudly served the financial needs of the Greater Twin Cities community since 1925. At Firefly, we guide our members forward and give them the power to chase dreams by delivering the financial solutions they need to get ahead. From checking accounts to mortgages, we'll light the way. We are Firefly Credit Union, and this is Life Illuminated. And Dr. Charles Crutchfield of award-winning Crutchfield Dermatology in Eagan, acknowledged as one of the nation's best physicians. A Minnesota native who trained at the Mayo Clinic, Dr. Crutchfield personally treats all patients and states that experience counts and quality matters. Crutchfield Dermatology. Look good, feel great, with beautiful skin.
Welcome. Access to Democracy returns. Alan Miller hosting as usual. And we have a first-time guest. Speaking of having beautiful skin, somebody who has beautiful skin. And who we know as Sue Lauerman, but professionally now she's known as Susan. And Sue is the executive assistant to the CIO here at Thomson Reuters. That would be Rick King, who's well known to our viewers. And Sue embarked on a new career in addition to that career, and we're going to talk about that. But she's one of 8 children. She is a twin.
Yes, I am.
And well, we have Sue here today, right?
Yes, we do.
And has 2 children of her own.
Yes, my son is 21 and my daughter Brittany is 22.
And they are both in college?
Yes, my son goes to Augsburg in Minneapolis and my daughter goes to Stout in Wisconsin.
And?
My son actually is studying international marketing and he has been on the dean's list since he's gotten into the program. And my daughter has actually been studying two professions, retail merchandising and buying. So she's going to have a double major.
Good for her.
Yep. And she's actually joined a sorority this year. So they do a lot of volunteering and such. So she loves it.
Now you had a life before you came to Thomson Reuters.
Yes, I did.
And what did you do?
I actually was an underwriter at Travelers Insurance. I did personal underwriting. So homes, RVs, cars, boats. It was a great career. I loved it. I got to travel, did some training. It was a good career. I liked it. Then I actually had 2 children. Stayed home for a couple of years, and then I switched careers and came to Thomson Reuters.
And you started out in what capacity here?
I actually did a lot of contracts for Travelers Insurance Company. So when I came to Thomson, I joined the payroll team. And we did all the contracts for all of Thomson Reuters. So it was actually a nice transition right into the company. So I started in payroll, and then after about 1.5 years, I went into finance. And I did that for about 1.5 years, and then I was approached by Rick to be his executive assistant in technology. And I've actually been with Rick about 11 years.
And that in and of itself says something, although Rick is an easy person to get along with.
Yes, he is.
Your job carries with it a lot of responsibilities because he is, in effect, the top executive here in Eagan. And as many people know, he's been a guest here, he's been a guest host here, and he's well known in the Twin Cities community. So you've been with him for 11 years, and your
Yes.
job entails just about everything, his travel, his appointments, his...
Exactly right.
His
he is a
correspondence.
handful.
He's a
is all
handful.
over the board. He basic executive assistant duties, which is travel and expenses and meetings and appointments and vendors and paying invoices. So it's A to Z. And then he's actually on a lot of boards as well. So probably at least 3 of them, and a lot of outside activities. So
Metropolitan Airports Commission.
that's correct. Metropolitan Airport Commission. He's on TCF board, a couple others, and so
TCF
coordinating-
Foundation. Right.
Exactly. So that in itself is another job, to keep track of all the meetings and board materials and getting him to the right places at the right time.
And because of his position, he's overseas a lot.
That
So
is
you
correct.
have to handle that and make the arrangements for that. So.
That's correct.
And with all of that, you recently started a new second career,
Yes, I did. So,
which is
well, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, has a son that does a lot of acting and modeling, and she's been kind of encouraging me to go into modeling. And I've pushed it off for a long time because I had 2 children to raise. Now that they're both in college, I thought, well, I have a lot of extra free time, so I thought I'm going to give it a whirl. So in December of last year, I got a headshot taken, and with an agency that she really likes and really recommended. And I met with the gentleman, and he said, yep, I could see you on Twin Cities Live. And so that was in December. I got my headshot right away, and my first show was on Twin Cities Live, a live TV show that I've never done any modeling ever before in my life. I'm live on
to say
Twin Cities
nothing
Live.
of live TV.
Right, exactly. So it was modeling an outfit, and loved the outfit, felt great. We had to do our own makeup and hair. Everyone has to on the show. So that in itself, too, being prepared for TV and doing your own makeup and hair is something, let alone never modeling and coming out on stage in front of a live audience, in front of cameras. So it was a whole new experience for me.
And we have a few pictures of that budding career.
Yes.
So why don't we take a look at some of them, and you can tell us exactly what they are.
Sure.
First up.
That is my headshot. So whenever you become a model, you have to have a headshot to start. And so that was my first headshot that I've ever had. And they are trying to portray me as my age, as more mature and office type. So, and I fit right into that category with my position as an executive assistant. So felt very comfortable doing that headshot.
And that was for the agency? Is that
Yes, for the agency. And so what they'll do is, most of the time, everyone who wants you to do a job, you have to send them headshots and some other photos, so they get a feel for what you look like and in different clothes and different looks.
Okay, let's see what we have next.
This is a shot that I was on the Jason show. It's Fox 9, and I was representing a mother of a family. So we were all in clothes that they were going to do as like a family portrait shot.
And none of these people are family for you.
Correct. Fake husband and fake children. So it was fun. The kids were fun to work with, and it's just a different type of atmosphere. A live audience again, so that's something different and kind of exciting because you're never used to that, and it takes a while to get used to. But as far as the family and getting out there with that was a fun, different type of atmosphere instead of being on my own.
So with this fake family, we really have 4 models
Yes, we do. Yep, that's correct.
who had no connection before that day and probably haven't had since.
Correct. That's absolutely right, and that's the beauty of it. And people don't know that sometimes when you're looking, you don't really realize that. But we had probably 10 minutes to get on set, meet each other, go through what we were going to do, and talk to the kids and make everyone feel comfortable, and go on live TV.
Okay, and next up,
And that's Jason. That's the host of the Fox 9 program. So we all got to meet him before, get some pictures. And those are just kind of nice, fun things that they do for us as models, that we get kind of a little notoriety and have that in our portfolio. So that was before the
Jason
actual...
makes sure that he gets to get in a photo with
Yeah.
the attractive models, doesn't he?
Oh, that's right.
But again, no relationship there other than
Right.
the shot.
Exactly
Okay,
right.
now what have we here?
This was a charity event at the Mall of America. It was Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and what it was is we modeled clothes from Nordstrom's, and the shoes were $599. I've never worn shoes that expensive in my life, so that was a treat in itself. Just
Most
to
of
be
us haven't, yeah.
right, exactly. So things like this are kind of interesting as a model. You just don't know what the director is going to pick out for you as far as what you're going to wear, the
Now,
shoes.
you have a much more severe hairdo here.
Yes.
Is that something that they wanted, or is that something that you came up with?
Yep, they actually prefer and recommend these things, and that's how you have to come. And the interesting thing about the bun in my hair is I've never done that in my life. So, which is very interesting, because I had to go out on Google and figure out how to do the bun. And
Because
I
you're
showed up.
doing it yourself. Yeah.
Correct, that I have to
Not,
do my
not
own
to
hair.
that stage of career yet where they have makeup people fawning all over you.
That is absolutely right.
Yeah.
So we had to do my own makeup, own hair, and they pick out the outfit, and it was for a charity event, and a great thing at the Mall of America.
And you have a $600 pair of shoes,
Yes,
probably an expensive purse as well.
that is correct.
And you do get a chance to wear some very expensive clothing.
Yes, we do.
But they don't let you take it home with you when you're done, huh?
No, unfortunately. That would be really nice, because a lot of the pieces I really do like, and they fit well, and they look good, and they pick out really nice clothes because they're showcased, and they want people to buy them. So it would be nice, but I haven't had that opportunity yet.
Now, how often do you get a call now that you've got almost a year under your belt,
Right.
so to speak?
I get a call probably every other month to do something. Most of it's been the Twin Cities Live. I've done that 3 times. I've done this Jason show once. I've done 2 charity events. One was the Mall of America, and then the other one was the Taj Salon hair fashion show for Canines for Carrie. And so there's just different things that you can do volunteer work as well through the agency. So a few things, not a whole lot, but
You made yourself available to do
Yes.
some volunteer work also.
exactly. Yep. So it's fun.
Though. Now, it's fun, but they do pay you for this, right?
Yes, they do.
How does that work with the agency? The agency gets you the various photo shoots and then takes a percentage of what you get for what you do?
Correct. So I work through the agency. They do all the bookings. They send me an email, tell me exactly where I have to go, who I have to see, what times, and then I show up and either get a fitting that day or the week before, and then I go do my thing. We always stay in contact and send a text or an email saying I'm here, check in, just so that they make sure that their models are there. If someone doesn't show up, then they'll call someone else to fill someone's place. But then they do take a cut of what you're making, which is fair.
It's a really interesting but very organized procedure. you
Yes, very organized, very thorough, well thought out, very, very good.
know. So 5 years ago, did you ever think that you would be modeling?
Oh, never, ever. And I tell my friends that, especially on TV doing things, because I've always had an interest in fashion, like my daughter does too, and most girls probably, but never thought I would be on live TV or modeling or even asked to do anything. So this was kind of a blessing. It's kind of out of my box. You know, I'd encourage people to actually, if they even have a thought of it, just try it, because in today's world, the typical model is in Minnesota, is not what you would expect from New York. They will look for anything,
The
any body
anorexic,
type.
starved models that you see
Correct. That's
in
not the case.
Times Magazine, etc.
Yeah, not the case for Minnesota. Actually, I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, but they look for everything, young to old, and different body types. They want different looks, and dark hair, blonde. So it's really diverse. And so I would encourage people, if they have any thought at all, to try it. Go out of your box. I really didn't think I'd be doing this. I feel blessed. I feel flattered. I feel like, really, this is happening? I'm on live TV. So it's actually really cool. And my friends are thrilled. They can't believe it either.
Yeah, I also know that your friends are very jealous of you because you have a huge appetite.
I do. I love to eat. I really do. My favorite food would probably be a nice filet steak with onions and mushrooms and a big baked potato with sour cream on it. And I'd eat the whole thing. So, yes.
And you
I love it.
maintain your weight and your figure. And that's got to be unnerving to somebody who has to watch their calories.
That's
carefully.
true. And I try not to say too much about my appetite. But I also, on the flip side of that, I do work out quite a bit. So I do run like 3 times a week, 2 miles probably an average. I own my own house, so I do a lot of work like the shoveling and cutting the grass and doing just general maintenance around the house, gardening. So I do a lot of exercise as well, so it kind of balances that big appetite.
And it's fun.
It is fun. The whole thing is, and I can't forget my gummy bears. That's my favorite treat. So,
Well, if I'm not mistaken, at your desk you have a big jar of gummy bears.
I do. So it's kind of one of those snacks that they're fat-free though, so I feel it's better, but it's the sugar you have to watch. So I have a big handful a day probably.
A big handful.
I do.
of that.
I do.
Let's see if we have some more pictures. I think we do.
Okay, that was my first show in January when I first started. That was Twin Cities Live, and I remember this vividly because when we got to the set, like I said, we really only have like 10 minutes, and the producer took all 4 models and said, "Okay, follow me." We went in the back of the stage. He said, "This is where you're going to come out." And then when we came out, there is a step, and then where we stand. And he goes, "Okay, everyone." And I was the first one out that day. And he goes, "Okay, when you come out, don't fall down this step." And I said, "Oh my, well, now you just cursed me. Seriously? Like, this is my first show, and you're telling me not to fall?" Which I know that. So actually, everything went really well that day. I loved my outfit. Everyone complimented me on how well I did for my first show. So it was really a thrill for me, and I liked the pictures that came out of it. It was really fun.
Now let's get one thing straight. This is the Twin Cities. So when you're changing into the outfits and all, the producer does not walk into the changing room, right?
Nope, that's correct.
As we have heard a lot on television of late, and catch women in all sorts of compromising positions.
Right. No, that's not true. Not for this.
This is Minnesota nice.
This is Minnesota nice. Yep. We are very, very good about that. They put us all in a separate room, or we can go into the bathroom. So they're very good about our privacy. Yes.
Okay, do we have another picture? I think we do.
Okay, this was my second Twin Cities Live show, and this was at Mystic Lake Casino where we did a pool party. And I was the lucky recipient to wear the bathing suit. So I had a cover-up, which is great, and a live audience out at Mystic Lake. And this was my second show. Fun, bright colors, so I love the outfit. It makes such a difference when you're a model and you like what you're wearing, because if you don't like what you're wearing, you still have to pretend you like what you're wearing. So being out on stage was not difficult for me because I liked this outfit. It was fun. It was my second show. I felt a lot more comfortable.
And you look as though you are comfortable and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, it was a good show. The audience was pretty interactive. They were clapping. You know, it was like a pool party setting. The music, so it was kind of uplifting and upbeat.
Do you get any harassment from the audience in your modeling?
I have not, and I haven't seen it. And usually the audience is more quiet if there is anything at all. They're more typically apt to clap and hoot and holler for you than to do or say anything negative that I've seen.
Have your children attended any of your modeling events?
You know, they have not, because most of them are either on set where they have to have a ticket, or like Mystic Lake was a ticket as well. I did do the state fair as well this year, but they were both occupied doing other things. But they do see the videos, they do see the pictures, and I think they're proud of me. I hope so.
I'm sure they are.
Yes.
Now, the state fair is an entirely different venue. I don't know.
Yes.
Do we have any more pictures in there or not? No, that's the
think-
pictures. Okay, so we don't have pictures of the state fair.
Okay.
But what was that like?
You know, that was fun. It was a different atmosphere, as you know. It's outside, the crowd's outside. It's beautiful day. It was another great outfit that I wore, and really receptive crowd. They encouraged us. It was a fun time, different.
Now, in addition to being available for charities, you also do a fair amount of volunteering outside of your modeling career, outside of
Yes.
your Thomson Reuters career.
Yes, I do. I am actually an avid blood donor. So I've been giving I've been here 16 years, and I give probably 3 times a year here. So I'm over the gallon amount, and it's kind of near and dear to me. My mother needed a transfusion. So I feel like if you can give blood, I would encourage people to do that, because it's much needed. And when it hits home like that and you realize how important it is, it's a good thing to do, and it's easy to give back to someone that way.
And you do some other things also in terms of...
I actually have done Feed My Starving Children, and me and my kids have done that together as well. They think it's great. It's very fun. The National Kidney Foundation, they have a walk that they do here at Thomson Reuters, and I brought my...
Very important.
Very
important for people also to sign up and volunteer if anything happens to them, to give their kidneys, which can save lives and do save lives.
Right.
So.
Absolutely right, and that's why I do it, because it's so important. And I wanted to teach my children as well that volunteer and make a difference in life, and show that you're supporting an organization and believe in something like that. So I think it's really important. I think that they continue to volunteer, and I continue to volunteer, and I would encourage others to volunteer as well.
Yeah, I've signed up for all those things. Generally, they take one look at me and they reject it.
Oh, no. No, let me talk to them.
Now, you're also a dancer.
Well, I do a little bit, but that we'll not talk about as much, because it is fun. I like to dance, and to be honest, I wish I would have been a professional dancer. That would have been my ideal
Well,
career.
that can be your third
My
career.
third career, eventually, yes. Add it to my plate.
And how about your bowling career?
Bowling is a work in progress. I have to have someone teach me,
Well,
right?
we can work that out.
Okay.
And where from there? I know you have a lot of friends and
Yeah,
a good circle of friends. You vacation with friends.
I do.
What's your most fun vacation? What's your favorite spot that you vacationed?
You know, I actually have 2, if I'm allowed to say 2. One is Cabo San Lucas. Beautiful weather, beautiful beaches, warm, beautiful boats coming in to watch. It's lovely there. That would be my destination vacation.
Kevin Costner has a very large boat that he
Really?
keeps at Cabo San Lucas.
Very nice.
Yes.
Well, I'll have to keep my eyes open for him next time. So, and then I guess my second would be Las Vegas. There's a group of me and 10 other girlfriends that go every year, and there's a country harvest festival out there, and country music for 3 days. I'm a big country music girl.
As am I, yes.
So love it, and we all if you can believe it, 11 girls get along for 4 days together, and we have fun, and we go dance and sing, and
Take in some concerts or some of the
yep.
acts? Yes.
Actually, the concerts run from like 4 o'clock till midnight every night. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. It's constant.
But you get some of the big names in country music.
Yes, we did. Like this year was Toby Keith and Luke Bryan and David Nail, Chris Young. Love them all.
See, my generation, I'm back to Willie Nelson.
Yes.
Who's a
Still around.
favorite. And yeah. In
Yeah,
fact,
that's
Willie
great.
is making commercials now. If you've seen it on television, he's doing commercials for, I think, Volkswagen.
Oh, well,
And,
there you go. See? It's never too late to do anything, right?
And he's pushing 83. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Good.
So we have Vegas. We have Cabo San Lucas, which is a really nice spot, especially if you're going to just stay at the resort, because there's
Right.
not a lot in the town yet. And I don't think they've built that second airport yet. So it's a long haul from
Right.
the airport to the resorts, like 40 minutes
Exactly
or something
right.
like that. And
Well, back to the running and walking. It's good to walk on the beaches and go for a run and walk to different dinner locations. So I get a lot of exercise that way too. Work it off before I go eat.
Pardon?
Work it off before I go eat.
I was going to say, running on the hard sand is really a great, back in the days when I did jog,
Right.
I used to enjoy really running on the hard sand.
Right.
And the tide goes out, and
Yeah, it's beautiful,
and
isn't
there
it?
you are, yes.
It really is.
So you have a very big birthday coming up. We're not going to tell anybody what it is, because they wouldn't believe it anyway. But
We can say.
your children are 8 and 9.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Yes,
22
I'm
and
glad-
23. Nobody would believe that either.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're at their ages now.
You had
We're at
two
a good
children very, very close together.
Yes, they're
That
actually.
must have been a surprise.
Well, they're 10 and a half months apart. My son was 6 weeks early. So in reality, they should have been a year apart. But everyone when they were growing up, they thought they were twins. But it was great. I wouldn't
And they're very
change-
close to each other today also.
They're very close. So good times growing up together. They're still close. We have a lot of fun together. And it's great.
Now, in the less than a minute we have left, you also started training executive assistants here
Yes.
at Thomson Reuters, and do you still do that?
I do. What that is, it's called the Egan Admin Connection, and we share knowledge and training across the admins here. We have about 60 admins, and what that is, I started about 5 years ago, and it's to create consistency across the admins within Thomson Reuters, so that we all work together efficiently and effectively. And we've been doing that for about 5 years, and it's been going over really well. So.
And we have run out of time,
Oh.
actually. How soon it goes.
It does go quick.
But we've been talking with Susan Lauerman, or Sue, depending as our friends know, who is not only well known here at Thomson Reuters, but also a second career model. Sue,
Great.
thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.